Hello, welcome back. In this lesson, we're going to explore how we build dashboards in Smartsheet and what are some of the best practices when building dashboards. We're going to be using the summary sheet that we've created in the previous lesson as our base for the dashboard. And let's imagine the use cases that we want to build a dashboard on the top 5 markets for our company. And these top 5 markets are France, Germany, Mexico, US, and Canada. What I'll do here is I'll do a simple sum formula and I'll sum the numbers for my top 5 markets. You'll notice here that when you scroll it like this, it's not gonna populate the columns in the right format, so we need to switch them. I'll just switch this to pounds and this to pounds. And this should be just a normal number without any currency. And that's it. I'm just gonna save this. Now I'm gonna click on Smartsheet here, the logo, to be taken back to the workspace. And then I'm gonna create a dashboard from here, dashboard/portal, top 5 markets performance. And this is my dashboard here created. I'm just gonna click on it now. The way dashboards work is by adding widgets. So you have this blank page and you need to add widgets to it. So I'm just gonna click on add widget. And the first widget that I'm gonna add is a title. So I'm gonna title this, here's the performance of our top markets. Just like this. And here's the first best practice I want to share with you. You need to keep titles at the most to 4 to 5 words. There's been a research in the visualization community, and the best practice that came up is that titles should be short and up to the point. Any further explanation can be done as a separate text, and I will show you how to do that. But for now, we're just gonna keep this to top 5 markets performance. Just like this. And you'll notice if you double click on it that you have a lot of options here to edit the text. You can put it italic, you can put some background behind it, you can change the font, you put it something else, for example, like this for now. We can probably change it later. Top 5 markets performance. The title is our first step. Then we need to add widgets. And the first widget that we have here is a metric, which is going to display just one value. What I'll do is I'll select the metric. We'll need to select where the data should come from. I'll add data, and from here I'll choose the summary. And from the sum that I've created, I'll choose the total sales USD. And the title here is going to be total sales USD in brackets. I'll take out the column name from here because we don't need it. Then I'm probably going to increase this a bit to 12, and then let me change this to 12 as well, maybe this then to 14, and then I can put it in red. You have a lot of options here, so it's up to you what color you want to choose. I'll just leave it like this for now, and then you can either choose to display the title or not. I'll display the title because we need to explain what we're showing. You should not assume that the users will know what they're looking at, so you should always have a title. Done. Okay, so just gonna place it here so they can see straight away the performance in USD. Now, if I click on save, you see that this is what my dashboard begins to look like. Let me go back to edit. If you want to edit this in any way, you can always come back here. You can make it white if you don't want to have any background color here. Here it is. If you want to add one more for the metric in pounds, just come here again, add data source, then I'll add the pounds, total sales in GBP, just like this. Then let me select the same color, it was 12, and this was 14. Put on done. Then I'm gonna move this like this so we can have both one next to each other. Okay, so we don't want any color here. I'll take this one out. Total sales GBP. Okay, just like this. I'm gonna change the color. I'm making you go through all these steps in order to see the different options. So let's put it like this. Okay. You're not gonna get it correct from the first time, so it's gonna take some amendments here, to get it to exactly to the way you want it. And here it is. I'm gonna click on save now, and this now looks pretty good. So we have the title now, and straight away we can see the performance of the top 5 markets. Now it's time to add an actual chart to see what's driving this performance. As we know, a picture tells 1,000 words. So we're gonna choose a chart, and then we need to select the data source. So we're going to click here, and I'll click on summary. And from here, I'll select just like this. I'll select the 5 countries, and I'll select everything just like this. We are now in the charts options. From here, you can edit the data if you want to switch to just the first 3, for example, or make some other amendments. From here, you can select the actual columns that you're going to display on the chart, because at the moment it displays everything, and I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to display the primary column, which is the country, and then I want to display the total sales in USD, and I'll click on OK. And from here, you can have some options whether to display the names in the columns. And so you see now we don't know what this is about. You can switch it around. What I want to do is I want to change the chart type to pie chart so you can see what percentage is driving the revenue. So I can see, for example, from this chart that Germany is my biggest driver of sales with 22%, but they're all kind of a similar size, because the lowest is around 18 and the highest is 22. In terms of title percentage of sales, just like this, I'm gonna center it. I'm gonna make it a bit bigger, just like this. Okay, you notice that in the pie chart menu, you have a few options. You can put a semicircle instead of a full chart, which is a nice feature that you wouldn't see in other dashboards, in other project management tools. You can see the slice label. You can actually put it to the actual value, but I prefer percentage for this particular chart. Let me leave it to this. From here, you can change the colors if you prefer some other color for the countries, just like this. I'm gonna save it, and here it is. And now when I click on save, here's my chart. So now let's go back to edit. What we will do now is create another chart. So let's go to add widgets, click on chart, then I'll select the 5 countries again. I only gonna need the total sales in USD, so that's where my range is gonna end. So here's the chart. Now what I'm gonna do is I'll amend this a bit. I just want the primary column and the total USD, like this. Then what I'll do is go to title and legend. The title is gonna be total or just sales by country. I'll put it in the middle like this. I'll put it to 14. Background is going to be white, but let me put this to brown. You can put countries here at the bottom if you want, but it's kind of obvious what you're displaying. So the best practice is don't put information that's not needed. So I'm just going to put USD here, and I'll put USD I'm gonna put the data labels just like this. What I prefer to do is put grid lines on the horizontal axis like this. Then on the vertical axis, I like to scale it to data values so you can see in a more visual way where we stand in the different countries. You can change the font here on the left. Then I'm gonna take out the legend because I don't need it because it's obvious from the top that this is in USD. You can change the color from here if you prefer something else, like this. You can also put vertical axis like this if you prefer that. I'm gonna make the font from the horizontal axis. I'm gonna make the font of the countries a bit smaller so it fits better, so we can put most of the focus on the actual amount. This is what people are coming here for, to see the actual amount of the sales. And this is how I'm gonna end this for now. Let me put it here, and I'm gonna make this a bit smaller like this. You can expand it, and then so it fits here. Expand it a bit just like this. I'm gonna save it. And now what we have is two charts. The first chart shows the percentage of sales within the different countries, and then the next chart shows the actual sales in USD. And you can see how the users can quickly see from the dashboards how these top 5 markets are performing. This is the whole idea behind dashboards, to be able to quickly drill down and get the information that you need without going into a lot of details. Having said that, some people would like to drill down into the numbers in order to see where they're coming from. So what you can do is actually go back to edit, and for example on the sales by country, you can edit the widget, and here go to the advanced options, and you have a few options. When someone clicks on this widget, they can open a source sheet, which we're gonna do now. So what we're gonna do is when they click on the chart, it's gonna take them to the source of this data, go to a specific URL, or open Smartsheet item. So let's click on open a source sheet. Okay, just like this, save this, and then when I click on this, it's gonna take me to the summary. Now, this is just going to take you to the summary. So perhaps a better option is going to be the following. Let me go back to the dashboard and go to edit, add widget, and I'll add a shortcut here. And the shortcut is going to be Smartsheet item, and I'm going to point this out to all markets. All markets like this, click on OK, and the title is going to be have a look at the raw data. Just like this. I'm going to click on OK, and here it's going to be. I'm going to expand this like this. Let me click on save. And now if they want, okay, let me bring it a bit up, like just like this. Save it. So now they see the overall numbers, and you see that when you hover over, you can actually see more information. But then if they want to drill down into the raw data, they can simply click here. And this is going to take them to the sheet that displays each single cell, and then they can do any kind of filtering or drill down that they want. Okay, let me go back to edit and click on add a widget. You can also display a whole report on the dashboard, but I prefer not to use that in a lot of cases because I usually tend to build dashboards about specific performance within a project or within the company, but you also have the option to do that. So let me quickly show you how to do it. So I'm just going to go back to Smartsheet. So let's quickly create a report, which we're going to use. Sample report from raw data. Just going to open it. Just going to use this one and this one here. And then the report's going to show not the sheet name, units sold, country, and profit, for example. Go back now into my dashboard, and You don't have to do that. You don't have to follow me on this one. This is my sample report. And then I can just display it here. And this is just gonna be a list. Let me save it. This is gonna be a list of all the sales with their profit. So you can also do that. So in order to use reports properly, you probably will need to do some kinds of sums of the different verticals that you want to show, but this is going to be for specific use cases. I don't tend to use them that often on a dashboard. Okay, so this is how you use reports. You can add an image. So if you want to put your company logo or something, you can do that. So let me choose a logo for that I've been using for my course. Here it is. You can put it, perhaps should be here at the top. So I'll need to move everything so it's not going to fit perfectly. Okay, you can make it smaller, put it here at the top. I'll just move it back now to look, this looks better. Okay, I'll just save it. So this way you can put your logo at the top right corner or anywhere that you want. Okay, this is the next widget. The title we've explored and the rich text, as I mentioned earlier. If you want to put some more information about specific item or some text for the user, you can do it from here. For example, this is the sales performance of the company across our 5 key countries. And then just place it here and you can put it anywhere. You can edit the font, obviously, make it italic. And this is going to be the way it's going to be displayed, so you just have to make sure that you put it in the proper place. For example, here. Then I'll put this here, okay, a bit to the left here, like this. Let me make it a bit smaller so it fits. Okay, save it. And let's say that this is kind of the dashboard that you want. You can add a lot more items here. This is just the sales, so you can leave the sales here at the top. Then perhaps you can put down the actual profit, right? Because this is just the sales. You can put the profit. You have a lot of verticals in our data, so you can do all kinds of data cuts. And I would advise you to explore dashboards with a few more data cuts in order to properly learn the different options. But these are all the widgets. We've used all the widgets that are available under dashboards. And from here on, it's up to your imagination on how you're gonna create a dashboard. Here's just a few best practices that you need to keep in mind. When people open dashboards, the first thing that they will notice is what's at the top left of your dashboard. This is just the way the human brain is wired to look, because we've been reading books since we were little, so we always tend to go to the top left corner. So if you want to focus the attention of the person viewing your dashboard to a specific item, it's gonna make sense to put it straight away around this location here, because this, then you're gonna be absolutely sure that they're gonna notice the number that's in there. This is just something to keep in mind. Also, dashboards in most cases shouldn't really have more than up to the maximum of 10 different data points. At the moment we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I would advise you not to go above 10 because it just gets too much for the user. Sometimes it's actually better to split the dashboard. Obviously it's going to depend on who you're building this for, and this is where the third best practice comes from. When creating the dashboard, think about your audience. Who's going to be using the dashboard? If this is going to be just one person in the company, what are they like? Do they like high level views or to really deep dive into the data? And then start from your audience. If you put your mind into your customers or your audience shoes, then it's going to be much easier for you to build a great dashboard that they're going to love. So these are my tips and tricks on how to use dashboards. Once you're ready, you can publish the dashboard from here. and you create an actual URL. So anyone that you share this URL with, they're gonna be able to see this dashboard, and this is what they're gonna see. So you're just gonna copy this, right? Load it, and your dashboard is gonna be displayed for them. Another option that you have is to embed this onto a web page if you want. If this is not sensitive data, obviously at the moment we're displaying really sensitive data, so we wouldn't do that. But what I've seen companies do from Smartsheet is, let's say for example that you're tracking the number of employees, the number of customers within Smartsheet. You've probably seen in a lot of on a lot of websites, companies display how many employees they have, how many companies they support, and etc. I've seen some companies actually use Smartsheet in order to create a dashboard that dynamically stores this information on the About Us page on their website, for example. Another option that you have is to see the activity log, all the updates that you've done to the dashboard, full screen view. I find this full screen view really useful when I do presentations. So if I present the dashboard in a meeting, I usually go to the full screen view to avoid all these distractions at the top of the screen. You can print it and you can put some personal settings here, whether it's going to be auto refresh or how often it should be refreshed. If it's auto refresh, and you can share it from here with a specific person. This is how you build great dashboards that are relevant for the audience that you build them for. Please go ahead and try to use the dashboard feature within your company, and you'll see that this is going to be one of your favorite features of Smartsheet because there's so many options on how you can use dashboards. Okay, let's now proceed to the next lesson.